So what's going on, folks? We are back again, reacting to this 30-7 win by FAMU over South Carolina State. This is Buddy Pugh's first loss inside Bragg Memorial Stadium as the head coach of South Carolina State, and it's also FAMU's first win over South Carolina State at home since 1998. So I mean, my gosh, I mean, honestly, I don't want to tell a lot of people's ages here, but I I think it's honestly safe to say I don't think a lot of players on this team were even born when, or unless they're maybe like a fifth or sixth year senior, or they're a year younger than me and they're 23 on the team, then they were born when FAMU last beat South Carolina State. But nevertheless, I mean this was a good win. You saw a lot of things that you needed to see. I'm still waiting for the stats to be uploaded by ESPN. You'd think that this would be a faster process, but that's okay. We're still going to wing this thing, and it's still going to be awesome. But the intro is next, so by all means, definitely sit tight, enjoy it, and we're going to get right to it here in a few seconds. So what's going on? Let's get right into it, people. So a couple things before we jump right into it. A couple scores from around the SWAC today and around the college football world. Um, Alcorn wins their homecoming, 24-20. Alabama A&M gets destroyed on their homecoming by Jackson State, and they got a nice gift from Deion Sanders as well in the shape of a little pink scooter. So that's pretty nice of Dion. Beat the crap out of him for homecoming, and then but gave him a nice little gift. Heck, he probably should have gave him a cake too. And then also too, we saw two upsets. I don't really know if you can call them upsets, but well, one of them was Texas Southern beats Southern 35-31. Mississippi Valley. I think I don't really know if this was an upset. I guess they were both kind of evenly matched, but it was 20-14 in favor of Mississippi Valley, picking up a huge first win for the first time I think in a while. Um, and then right now you currently got Alabama. They're trailing by 7 to Texas A&M. So far, Jimbo Fisher's holding true to his word. Um, and then as well too, Florida State picked up a huge win today. Georgia, huge win today. Um, so yeah, honestly, in Kentucky doing what they're doing, continuing growing. So as well too, another things. Let's jump right into it. So what you saw today was basically a repeat of what you saw last week. It's unfortunate that the shutout wasn't preserved, and I think that the officiating wasn't the best tonight. I think that kind of played a role into it, but that's fine. I mean, these things are going to happen eventually with the way the game is nowadays. The game is so spread out. Teams want to attack the perimeter, get north and south. So it was it was bound to happen. You were kind of hoping it wouldn't have, but it did. And I mean, there's a lot of good that you can still take away from these types of things. You learn a lot in from winning as well as in defeat, and I think that's what happened. Um, the one thing that I will say that I think the discipline still has to get a little bit better, just a little bit better. This team is they're talented, but I think the discipline has to get a little bit better, and this team can really like take off into the stratosphere. Because and why do I say that? Because next week you're going to need to be disciplined, firing on all cylinders, because you're going on the road into a pissed off environment to go play a, an Alabama A&M team that just got throttled today. So I mean that's the only reason why I say that. So you're going to need to be more disciplined, firing on all cylinders. I think the offense, they showed growth in the first half, but in the second half, the pace kind of slowed down a little bit. It would have been nice to kind of see that pace continually go through the duration of the game, but again, it happens. But overall, you like what you saw. You saw the wide receivers getting a rhythm. You saw once again Rashawn McKay took care of the football, didn't turn the ball over. Knock on wood for next week. But that was fantastic, honestly. You saw defense flying around. FAMU's defense has been suffocating outside of really, honestly, the USF game. FAMU's defense has bent but not broken 95% of the time. You've given up 7 points to FCS opponents a game, basically. You shut out Alabama A&M, and what 7 quarters? No, yeah, 7 quarters with a shutout. That's not a lot of teams do that. 15 consecutive games with a forced turnover. There's some NFL teams out there that'll be glad if they could even get maybe 10 turnovers in a season. Believe me, it doesn't happen often. There's something special with this defense, and I give credit to that defensive coaching staff with Billy Roll and everybody that's on that side of the ball calling the shots. That defense is stifling. And I'm going to tell you now, next week, I don't know if Akil Glass in that Alabama A&M offense they call the Outlaws is going to be able to find the end zone many times against this FAMU defense. I know they're going to come in motivated, but I don't know if they're going to find much success. As well, too, be sure to leave a comment and like, share, and subscribe on this video as well. We are talking about FAMU's 30-7 victory over South Carolina State. FAMU has ended a 8-game winning streak inside of Bragg to Buddy Pugh, and as well too picks up their first win against South Carolina State in Bragg since 1998. So there's no comments. So with that, I mean, I guess we can kind of just look ahead to Alabama A&M and what they'll present. So looking forward to Alabama A&M. Alabama A&M. What will they present to FAMU? Look, it's simple. They're gonna love to throw the ball around. Akil Glass was 26 of 40 today, 293 yards, almost had a 300-yard day, given the fact that he only got 15 points. Their leading receiver had 117 yards. They're gonna come in. They're gonna want to throw the ball around. But honestly, too, their running game is not that strong. And what is FAMU's strong suit, Ben? Honestly, run defense. Take away the run, make them throw. And that, my friends, is what I think you can do and what you need to do to have success against Alabama A&M next week. Because we're learning more and more about this team. And again, honestly, kudos to Isaiah Land. Again, another dominating performance. Multiple sacks. Savion Williams made his presence felt. You could tell he was disruptive. He, along with Deontay Williams and Isaiah Land together, that trio is Either you work these guys into a rotation or even put them on the field at the same time. These tackles in HBC football can't hang. Isaiah Land was whipping that tackle from South Carolina State tonight, and he whooped that tackle from Alabama State last week. There's not many tackles that can block these guys. There's really not. And from what I saw today, watching Alabama A&M, I don't think that they can block these guys either. This trio either. I think they're going to have a tough time next week blocking Isaiah Land, Savion Williams, and Deontay Williams. I really do. I really think they will. And I think that's where FAMU's going to have their success because honestly, now you see when FAMU's defensive line and front seven can rattle quarterbacks and knock those quarterbacks off of that spot where they want to be to deliver into those windows, that's where you see success. Because honestly, look, Corey Fields Jr. had 314 yards passing last week. This week, he comes up against a very talented defense that knocked him off the mark, forced him to make tough decisions, forced him into a couple interceptions. It was about 2 or 3 interceptions tonight, and they countered off of it. So that's one element that needs to be taken into consideration. So, yeah, if FAMU can repeat the success that they've had the past 2 weeks against Alabama State, South Carolina State, and then take it to Huntsville on the road and bring that to them and execute it, you're talking about another game FAMU can win. Believe it. Most definitely believe it. But I would definitely say, players of the game tonight, most certainly Isaiah Land. I would even say offensively, give it to both Bishop Bonnet and Terrell Jennings. That rushing attack has been heavily reliable. And that's what you want. And honestly, too, special teams game ball has to go to Jose Romero Martinez, who kicked a 50-yard field goal tonight. And honestly, that's impressive in that of itself because there's not many college kickers that can kick, honestly 50 or more. There's really not a lot. And this comes off of, a few weekends after Justin Tucker just reset an NFL record at 66. So, I mean, kudos to him, man. I think there's a lot of guys that earned SWAC Player of the Week honors potentially, and even HBCU Player of the Week honors from some of these different groups and stuff. And I can honestly say I'm impressed with what I saw. With the quarterback play tonight, I know everybody has their opinions and stuff of how it should have gone and how it should have been and everything, but I'll say this. Like I said earlier, why being a game manager works for Rashawn McKay. Rashawn McKay is a game manager. Do what you need to do so that way we can have everybody. Let me say it like this. Do your job. Everybody else will have success. That's what it is. Rashawn McKay does his job. Everyone around him has success. Simple as that. If he protects the football, FAMU wins, and by wide margins, as you can see. So that's the formula. That's the formula. Sometimes you don't really need a guy that's just like this godsend that can do everything like Cam Newton. Sometimes you don't need that. Sometimes you just need a game manager. And the fact that this is his 4th start, and he's showing signs of progression, and he hasn't turned the ball over. So you can't talk about him for that. He doesn't turn the ball over. He looked more confident in his throws tonight. Sooner or later, those deep balls are going to start connecting. And then it's just really going to get going. And then he's really going to be able to take the bull by the horns and just go. The potential is there with Rashawn McKay. And as he grows and continues to learn in this system, and he's got, I believe, what Willie Simmons said, 3 years of eligibility left because of the COVID thing, giving everybody an extra year. Down the road, it's going to be a beautiful thing, in my honest opinion. It really is. But as far as keys to victory goes for tonight, I said FAMU needed to establish a run. They did that with success. Stop the run. They did that. South Carolina State was not able to really run the football. They were forced to pass, didn't have success, threw a couple interceptions to about 2 or 3. These are the results you get. Also, stay disciplined. I feel like that's something that needs to be improved upon. Because when it all comes together, this is a dangerous thing. This is going to be a scary thing. And you saw spurts of it tonight. And honestly, hopefully, going into Huntsville, this defense will continue to look much more improved. Because that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see FAMU's front seven. Enough about the Outlaws from Alabama A&M against the Rack Boys. That's going to be a fun matchup too. One side when they take the field, and the other side when they take the field. But I want to see, honestly, FAMU's front seven against Alabama A&M's offensive line, and how well can Alabama A&M's offensive line protect Akil Glass. That's what I want to see next week. Because if you look at it, Akil Glass was on his back for the most part today. And what does FAMU's defensive front like to do? They like to get after you. And if they can get after you consistently and get in your head and rattle you and knock you off that mark, that team has success. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing next week. But enough of me blabbering on. I'm going to let y'all go for the night. I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, FAMU wins the first victory over Buddy Pugh inside Bragg Memorial Stadium ever. First win over South Carolina State in Bragg since 1998. Huge win, 30-7. I predicted 38-10, but not bad. It was pretty close. Better than last week, honestly. But, yeah, next week FAMU takes on Alabama A&M in Huntsville. We'll be live at 1 o'clock next week, about an hour before kickoff for a 2 o'clock game. And honestly, too, who knows, FAMU. Break out the white helmets, the white jerseys, and the white pants. Break out the all white. It worked for Jackson State today, going into Huntsville. Why not? Break out the all white again. Make Alabama A&M see ghosts from the week before. It might work. Likely it will, because you have just about as much of an aggressive pass rush as Jackson State does. But that's going to do it for me. I hope you've enjoyed, folks. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. Instagram at Throw Flags, Facebook and Twitter at Penalty Talk. YouTube is at Penalty Talk as well as Spotify. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. So like this, share this, and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you're following us on Twitter and Facebook, Instagram as well. We've got a whole bunch of stuff posted on Instagram that we know you guys would love. And then also, too, make sure y'all tune into the Last Gift podcast Tuesday night with Flash and Ace. It's going to be an interesting one following an eventful Red River rivalry. And also make sure you tune into the Running Gun podcast on Wednesday night after this drilling out by FAMU on South Carolina State, and then also to an eventful day in college football. So make sure you tune in for all of that. But as always, folks, stay safe, stay blessed. If you're in Tallahassee, stay safe tonight. If you're going to any NFL games tomorrow, have fun tomorrow. Stay safe. Enjoy the sun and the fun. If it's indoors, enjoy the game day environment as always. If you're staying home, enjoy Red Zone and relax. But yeah, as always, stay safe, stay blessed. I'll see you on the next episode.